Good morning, Derby Jack here. Um, I'm not feeling well. I'm not going to work today. I was going to try, but I'm having stomach issues, real bad today. So I'm not going in. But I just want to say, um, y'all know that things are progressing in this world, and especially the banking thing is beginning. Um, I had just been online this morning and looking over, where I bank and the bank that I go to. There will be throughout the United States in my branch alone, 35 closings of smaller banks, I guess, outlets. Now, my outlet is right in the same mall where I am. I hope it doesn't. Now they are FDAC, supplied, meaning that backed and this and that. Now I don't know what all that means, but I do know this is that we do work in this system. We work, we make hours, we make money. Some people are on salary, some people are on hours. We do our jobs. People sell things and make money. But as a Christian, that is part of the system. But as a Christian, we're not supposed to depend on that money. I mean, you do to a point, but you need to understand the difference between you as a Christian and the world and the people who are not saved, who are not born again. They depend on the system and they depend on the money that comes from that system. Meaning that that's all they depend on. Now there are people who get smarter, you buy, you exchange your money into gold, this and that, knowing what's going on. I still say that they're going to find a way of devaluing gold and also silver. But let's go beyond that. Let's go to the point of faith. Faith. Okay, well, let me go here. It says, where was it? Let me go here first, okay. 9. We're going to go into 1 Timothy 6, 9. Okay. Let me go to 7. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be wherewith content. That they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and onto many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. I'm sorry, my stomach. So anyway, we go to 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which will some coveted after they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. But thou, O man of God, flee these things, and follow after righteousness, goodness, faith, love, patience, meekness. For the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. I give thee, okay, so this is the test, if you want to call it that. We're coming into the next phase of the control of the beast system. We're coming into the next phase. The phase after this will more than likely be the mark of the beast itself. But we are still in the system. We have been in the system since the last couple years, if you know what I mean. So the system is continuing. We have seen many phases and many outlets happening to keep this particular system falling. Understand, the system that is falling is a system that you brought up on. the system that you live in. The system in which you trust is now falling apart. And many people out there, as they watch television, many of the human monkeys, as I call them, are watching TV. They're listening to what they're saying, especially when it comes to the banks and this and that, sitting there saying, don't worry, these people will make sure that everything's safe. You'll be able to get your money, maybe not today, maybe not, but you'll get it. See, it all comes down to that control. So you're sitting there, and so you're asking your creditors and asking your landlord to please wait because they promised it. What ends up happening is people are depending on the money in the world. They depend it solely on the system and the systems of the world. Now that the systems are falling apart, they got nothing to work with. If you're working but you can't cash a paycheck or the money's not there, why would you work? So think about all the things that happen. Now, think about the people who've depended on the system of money. So what does it say here? Now, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, let's look at that for a moment. Instead, in the beginning here, where I read from where it says 7, we brought nothing into the world, and we will not carry anything out. Okay? The only thing that will be taken away when it comes to us is that soul, as we are changed miraculously at the end. But when you die, it's just you. You're dead. You're gone. It doesn't matter what you've made prior. Doesn't matter what you've left behind. And that's just it. You left it behind. There, you can't take it with you. You can't go. It's not like the when they talk about the Egyptians, they put all this stuff in their burial place. So when they come back, they got stuff to work with. That ain't the world. That ain't the way it is. But what is the root of all evil? Let's look at the word all here. Evil is people who fall prey to the evil, meaning that you got good people now who can't get money, can't feed their family, have not prepared for this because they were listening to the news in the world, and the world was telling them everything's going to be fine. We're having a little bump in the road, but everything's going to be fine. Now everything's falling apart, and now the system is backtracking. Well, this is what happened, and this is what happened, and we're trying, but eventually you'll have to look at your government, and the government's only thing the government will be able to do is go into emergency mode, which is one of the next steps. So you may be able to get some money later on as they print it up, but America's bankrupt. America's been bankrupt for the last several years, right? So where do you think the money is going to come from? So you're talking about the evil that comes with the money. So as the world is depending on money, because they always say, what? Money makes the world go round. Yeah. Money, okay, is being used as the chains. So as they continue taking your money away, as they close the banks, keeping you from being able to get your money and everything else, what they're doing is they're trying to get you to freeze. Trying to get you to feel hopeless. Then they'll have all the resources available to you to where they can eventually just give you what you need, blah, 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 this and that. So now, the love of money and people who depended on money, this isn't just for the rich, it's people who depend on money. If you're a Christian, you make money, but you depend on God. The money is secondary. And if the money goes away, are you now strong enough to be able to survive without it? Meaning that, are you able to thrive? Not just survive, but thrive under the power of the Holy Spirit and God. That you have prepared yourself, especially if you grew in these last couple years. You started maintaining what you believed. You started maintaining and recognizing what you listened to. You started opening up your eyes and started seeing, not awoke, but you became awake. You actually started seeing what was going on in the landscape. Oh, God. So anyway, let's read this again on 10. For the love of money is a root of all evil. So you fall under the evil. Maybe you're not doing anything evil, but you fall under the evil because you depended on the system of money. So now that the money is gone, if you don't have God in your heart and you don't have yourself prepared spiritually, then you are without the money and the system's working against you. And that's the only system you have to work with. You have to wait until the system's ready to do something for you again. So what have you done in your life? If you say you're a Christian, but you're still not spiritually prepared, then what did you do? You depended on the system of the money. You depended on the evils of that money, whether you thought of it that way or not, but you depended on your paycheck. Remember when people say, well, you make enough, well, you depend paycheck to paycheck. Believe it or not, it's not that you love that money. Unfortunately, you have to have that money. Now, the love does come from those people who need it. There are people who love money, who can't always keep money because they love to spend it too. It's not just keep not getting the money, they're also spending it. So they have a twofold problem. They have a twofold love. They love to get the money and they love to spend money. They love to get things. You see, so the love ends up becoming evil. Now, people work their lives and they do very good work. They're very good at what they do. They make more money and they have good things around them. But that's the love of the money, you see? And everything they have is theirs. They hoard it. They look at it. They think that's everything around me is what makes me the love of money. Then there's those people who can't keep money, who always lose money. But the love of money is that they're looking at the people who have and they keep, wishing, imagining if they could be them, if they could be like them, if they had money like that. But these people don't have what it takes to get the money. They don't have schooling, they don't have training, but they'll do. So what they do, they play lottery tickets. They play this just to get money. And the problem is, it's not that they were evil. It's just they fell into the system. They fell into the beast system, and the love of money was there. It's like people believe it's the money that is going to get them and continue helping them. It's not the money. And until we as Christians, if you're a Christian, understand that it is God who gives the gifts. It is God who supplies the needs. God may have supplied your job. So is the job giving you the money, or is God who supplied the job is put you in a position, maybe because of your skills or because of where he wanted you to be? Maybe you will grow in this area. So you always have to start looking at why do these things happen? Where are you growing? What are you doing? Where are you going? See, what have you got underneath your belt? So as a spiritual man, if I ask you, well, the banks are closing, are you prepared? Are you spiritually prepared? Most Christians say, well, what has that got to do with me not having money? I got to have money being spirit. See, you don't understand how it works. That's why so many Christians are falling to the wayside and will fall to the wayside, because they don't understand the power of the Holy Spirit. They don't understand the manifestation from the spiritual to the physical of how God works in your life when you allow God to work in your life and you trust in God working in your life, and you don't depend solely on the systems of the world, because the systems of the world are falling apart right in front of your eyes. The systems of the world are being taken down right in front of your eyes. The systems of the world are being destroyed right in front of your eyes, and yet you are not spiritually prepared because you are falling alongside the systems and you're falling with the systems. And the money is dwindling because you depended solely on the system of the world. You began to depend on the system of the beast. And that's what's happening. They want you, me, everybody to depend solely on the system of the beast. They want to take Christians' faith away from them. They want to take that hope away from you. So that when you are personally, you and your family, especially family people, people who still believe in family, they want to tear that assumption down. They want to tear that way of thinking down. They don't want you to love your children. Pop them out and give them to the state. Let the state love them. Let the state bring them up. They will make people out of them and make winners out of them that you're possibly not able to do. Matter of fact, as you as a parent with your lovey-dovey little ways of thinking, you are a hindrance to the growth of your child, according to the wisdom of the world. You can't even hold on to money. What good are you? You don't keep a good job. What good are you to your child? How could you raise your child when you're poor? You'll just bring up another deviant. Let the state do it. Do you see where all this is going? So you give up your autonomy. You give up everything because it all started out because of the love of money, because of the love of the system of the beast, because of the love of the things that you had around you, or the craving of wanting things around you that you don't have. The type of clothes you'd like to be, the type of people you'd like to be around. You look at your movies, you look at your musicians, your football players, your stars. They got it. You want it. And then you love them because of what they've achieved in their lives. You know what gets me? You're a poor person and you're worshiping somebody who's rich, somebody you buy music off of, or you pay tickets, or you pay subscriptions to watch their movies, this and that. You buy clothes that mimic what they wear. You put your makeup on women that look like the Kardashians and all this other stuff, right? You all get these big butt, and then you men, you're losing your manhood. You know, even men who work at gyms aren't even looking like real men anymore, you know? And so these are the things according to the system of the world. And like I said, what's going to happen when people have depended solely on the system of making money, and especially the Christians, the world will fall to the wayside. The world will get on its knees to the governments, but us Christians will be defiant. We will depend solely on God if you have been depending solely on God. If I lose my job tomorrow, I cannot fret. I cannot worry because I believe in God. I trust in His movements. I trust in His judgments. I trust that He will always catch me and He will never be late. And that I do not have to worry about my life. That's why you have to disconnect yourself from the love of the system of the money, the love of the system of working. Yes, work when you can, work if you can. But what's going to happen is they're going to try to take that away from you. And another thing about all this is at the end, when the government makes you realize that you have nothing to offer, when you become to the government to make you start feeling like there's so many of you out there and we possibly can't help all of you. Basically what they're saying is, and what they will end up saying is that some of you are going to have to go, which they've been doing that already, you know how, and other ways. But the importance of mankind is not important to mankind. Let me say that again. For those who are in power, the importance of continuing mankind means nothing to those in power. What you would like to do, you get married, you have children, you want to have grandchildren, and you want your name to continue, that's gone. They don't, the Thomases or my last name, the Griswolds, or what, that's all done. You're not going to be allowed as a destroy the ovaries of females and the sperm count of men. As it continues, you will not be able to bring people into this world because they're not going to allow you. This is the system of the world. This is what's happening. Everything that you think it is important, they are taking away from you. And as they take them away from you, the only thing they can't take from you, if you are a Christian, is your salvation unless you give it up. And that's something that Satan wants very badly. He wants to break you so far down that you give up your salvation to him, that you give up your soul to him, and he takes it from you as he's taking it from God. So he's taking you from God because you depended on the systems of the world. You were not spiritually prepared, and you fell to the wayside because of the fear in which the system and the beast had instilled upon you. And you never rose above. You never prayed to God. You prayed to God amiss. And if you prayed to God at all. And that's what the world is right now. The world is falling apart. The system is falling apart. They have a system they have a system ready to go into implementation when everything breaks down. And there will be riots. There will be all kinds of things. As banks shut down, as money is not able to be gotten, and as people start living and thriving in the fear. Good people will turn bad. Bad people will turn worse. People will hurt one another. People will kill one another. And they who cause these problems, they who did everything they could to keep people manipulate, keep people from the truth, and lie to them over and over again. So anyway, I gotta stop. I gotta go visit another room. I love y'all. Please keep all this in mind. Read 1 Timothy yourself. Read the Bible again today. In some places it's miserable, it's cold, it's going to get freezing tonight here in Nashville and Tennessee in 20s, and it's a miserable, miserable day. It's a good time to get close to God. It's a good time to get off this system and start realizing that the system in which you're living in is getting ready to fall apart. Yes, America. Yes, America. America's gone. The flag means nothing. The Constitution is a toilet paper, and the Bill of Rights doesn't exist anymore. So, Derby Jack out. I love you all. See you all on the other side. Pray for me as I pray for you. Derby Jack out.